Now, for many countries in the Horn, particularly Somalia and Ethiopia, which have experienced famine in the past, the recent dry spell is worrying. Somalia's government and the United Nations have declared famine in part of the country's Bakol and Lower Shabelle regions.
It is likely that tens of thousands will have already died, the majority of these being children. Somalia is facing its worst food security crisis in the last 20 years.
The last famine in the 1990s killed an estimated 300,000 people. But ongoing conflict in the country of 3.7 million has aggravated the effects of drought that is affecting almost half of the population. In a country with among the highest malnutrition rates in the world, children are the most affected. Mohammed Hassan of VOA's Somali service says the impact of the drought is visible in several other areas in the country.
There is a Bai region, there is Gede region, and there is also lower Juba and middle Juba regions. So people who are fleeing from those regions are heading towards Ethiopia, Dola Ado, and also towards Kenya in Dadaab. Also a great number are coming to the other big cities in the south, like Mogadishu. There are huge camps of people who fled from the famine in that area or droughts in that area.
Hassan says in rainy seasons, Bakol and the Lower Shabelle regions are the most fertile and productive parts of the country. However, the extreme drought is forcing more than 1,000 Somalis to Dadaab daily seeking refuge because the militant group Al-Shabaab barred donor agencies from delivering food to the area more than 1 year ago. And Al-Shabaab's recent invitation to relief agencies to resume service is being met with skepticism by both the international community and government officials.
Some Somali lawmakers mentioned that they cannot trust Al-Shabaab because they have proven that they used to put taxes or take the food from the international organizations. So we don't know how it's going to play out, even though the United Nations have sent one plane to Baidabo, which is one of the places under the Al-Shabaab militia. So we will see in the coming days how things unfold.
Meanwhile, in neighboring Ethiopia, where 100,000 Somalis are also expected to flock by year's end, according to UNHCR, drought-related hunger is also threatening the lives of thousands. Famine has not been declared in Ethiopia, but the country did experience famine in 1974, where several 100,000 people died, and again in the mid-1980s, when an estimated 1 million people died. Tizita Belachu of VOA's Horn of Africa service says the situation is not as bad now or when compared to Somalia and other Horn countries, but there is concern.
About 4.5 million Ethiopians are affected so far. And this is in the eastern and also southern part of Ethiopia, mainly the pastoralist areas of Ethiopia, including Ogaden. The pastoralists have been experiencing chronic drought year after year now. For instance, in Borana area, according to reports, they have already lost 220,000 livestock, and they have started moving to different areas in search of green pasture and water. There is a chronic water shortage in the area as a result of the drought, of course. And also there is a report by UN agencies of outbreak of cholera and measles.
Belachu says according to government officials, they are trying to prevent the mass displacement of its citizens, as is being seen in Somalia, by providing relief where it is most needed.
Monday, we interviewed the emergency and relief head in Ethiopia. We were told food distribution has started, and this time around they're distributing food through health extension workers who are already in the community. And the government is trying to avoid people leaving their households in search of food.
Famine is a word humanitarian organizations don't use lightly. It is usually only applied when malnutrition rates exceed 30%, when 2 out of every 10,000 die daily, and large populations lack severe access to food.